So we are happy to talk with you about anything that you want to talk about. Manifestation on any subject, nothing off limits here. But it is our powerful desire that you leave this gathering here today remembering and fully convinced that nothing is more important than that you feel good, and that moment by moment feeling good is everything. You can have arthritic hips which give you pain, and you can feel hopeful, or you can have arthritic hips that give you pain and you can feel worried. And the emotional difference will make the difference about your recovery. You can have a bankruptcy looming and feel hopeful, or you can have a bankruptcy looming and feel desperate. And the emotional journey that you are upon will cause the outcome. We want you to realize that you have these two concurrent streams running all of the time. There is the stream of the action that I am observing. There is the stream of the manifestation that I'm observing. And then there's my connection to the stream. And the way you feel, the emotional journey, so to speak, speaks to your connection to the stream. When you make your journey about what's manifested, so you insist, of course, I'm worried because these are the facts that I'm observing. Now on this action journey, you have no latitude. You have no leeway. There's nothing that you can do other than continue to create more of whatever it is that you are giving your undivided attention to. Where if you will make your journey an emotional journey, where you say, oh yeah, I've got arthritis in my hips, and never mind how that got here. But I'm hopeful that it will feel better, and I'm anticipating discovering the process that will make that so. And I believe that it will come to me. And even though I haven't figured it out yet, I hope and anticipate that it will be there. Under that vibrational difference, rather than, oh yeah, runs in our family. Grandma had it. Mom had it. The doctors are telling me I've got it. They checked my DNA and told me that if I'd asked them, they would have told me a long time ago I was going to get it. And, you know, it's one of those things that once you get it, you've got it. Not much can be done about it. You just sort of have to learn to live with it. We say, oh, that's a very different vibration going on within you. That's causing you misalignment with the energy stream. That pessimistic attitude, while fact-based, is keeping your signal into that puny little place where even though the stream of well-being is surrounding you and enveloping you, you got a whole different thing going on here. You're not logging on to well-being. You're logging on to the reality that hasn't got anything to do with you. So what we're wanting you to hear is it does not matter where you stand. You can get to wherever you want to be from wherever you are. And we also want to say to you, don't be in such a rush to get there all at once. Be willing to take a step and then another step and then another step and then another step. Because the thing that defeats you more than all other things put together is trying to log onto a vibration that's out of your range right now. In other words, pull up your feet and move closer to the signal. Make a decision that's nothing is more important than that you feel good, and then work all day every day to find the best feeling thought on any subject that you approach that does feel good. We said that you can get to wherever you want to be from wherever you are. And we want to say to you something here that is more meaningful than all other things that we will say to you put together all day long. So, oh, never mind. Oh, you want to hear it, don't you? If you will make peace with where you are, you'll lock onto your signal. In other words, if you'll say, okay, here I am. Here I am. Good for me. Not bad for me. Good for me. And from where I am, I now choose this and this and this and this. If you make peace with where you are, meaning you stop beating up on yourself about it, you stop feeling regret about it, you stop letting it suck the life out of you, you stop letting other people make you feel guilty about it, you stop being defensive about it. If you will make a decision to make peace with where you are, which sort of sounds like this. Well, here I am. Simple enough, isn't it? Here I am. Here I am. Feel the difference between here I am on my way to there and here I am, I've been here so long. Or here I am, I shouldn't be here. Here I am, it's your fault I'm here. Quite different vibrational stance. Where here I am, and it's all right. Here I am, and I don't really want to be here, but here I am, and it's all right. And it's temporary. Here I am, and it's temporary. Oh, that one feels pretty good, doesn't it? Here I am in this temporary place on my way to better and better. Here I am, pleased with who I am, on my way with greater clarity to who I really am. In other words, you got to find ways to soften your personal perspective of where you are, because where you are is the signal that you're beaming. And you got to log on to the signal. You got to find a way of linking up with this source energy. When you don't, you're off the signal. Source energy believes that well-being should be yours. When you don't, you're off the signal. Source energy adores you. Source energy knows about your well-being. Source energy expects good things to come to you. And when you don't, you're off the signal, you see. So that's our best sales job yet. That nothing is more important than that you feel good, because the way you feel is your indication of your signal. So the signal has a couple of components. How much of it am I asking for by the power of my desire? And how much in alignment with that signal am I? In other words, I want it and believe it. I'm right on being. I want it and I doubt it. Resistance. It's not coming, at least not now. I want it means it's always there for you. I want it means the signal is always available, but the allowing part is the part you tweak into place by reaching for the thoughts that feel good to you. And you can feel when you click into alignment. Someone was asking us a question the other day about whether they should hire someone or whether they should not. And they were sort of going back and forth about whether it was a good idea. There were aspects of it that felt good and some aspects of it that did not feel so good. And as we listened, we said, pay attention to which way you're leaning. Well, there was no question which way they were leaning. They could really feel that they were leaning toward making the decision to say yes. And then we said, now you have made that decision. Now line up with the decision. Line up with the decision. And so we offered a whole stream of things that we thought were very reasonable components that made them easily line up with the decision. And then we said, now, your energy is in place. Now, never again go back and question that decision. Don't go back and put it back on the table where you're weighing the pros and the cons anymore. Don't shoot yourself in the foot about this decision. You've lined up with the decision. Let that decision be your decision. And you say, oh, I know people like that. They're stubborn. And we say, yes, they are. They are determined, you say. Ooh, determined. What does that mean? Determined. Cannot deter my mind? Is that what determined means? Is that the root of it? In other words, I'm determined. I've decided. I'm in alignment with, you see. Once you come into alignment with something, nobody else's opinion has anything to do with anything, because the only thing that matters is your relationship between you and the stream, between the desire that you have fashioned and the signal that you are outputting moment by moment. So when you are having trouble making your mind up about something, figure out which way you lean. In most cases, it doesn't really matter a rip. You could go with almost anyone and live happily ever after. Well, we understand that you have reasons for your pickiness, but you know which way you're leaning. And so lean that way and then line up with it and then watch what happens. And continue to say to yourself, I am temporarily standing everywhere that I'm standing. So when I get there, since I can't get it wrong and I never get it done, and the reason that I can't get it wrong is because I never get it done. In other words, you can't get it done. You're going to continually have a whole new other barrage of input that's going to cause you to launch another rocket of desire. You constantly amend your desires. And source energy constantly keeps up with the amendments. So, are we convincing you yet that your work, your only work, is to line up with what you think you want? So why don't you do that? Why doesn't everyone? Why is that not easy for you to hear? We'll tell you. It's because the questions we ask are always the easiest to answer. We know the answer before we ask the question. But then we know the answer before you ask the question too. So. The reason that more don't know that is because you're not sure that you have the right or the wisdom to choose. You think somebody else has made the list and that you've got to conform to the list. And what you didn't factor in is they made that list about what you should do so that they'd feel better. And it's time for you to make your list about what you should do so that you can feel better. You are an extension of that which is source. Some call it God. Some call it energy. Some call it consciousness. It does not matter what you call it. You will never be apart from it. It will always flow to you and through you. But you have powerful control about how much of it you let in any moment in time and how much of it you deprive yourself of. And when you let it in, you thrive. When you let it in, you're clear-minded, you're sure-footed, you feel good, life is wonderful, you breathe deeply, everything feels good. Everywhere you go, you find things that are interesting, fascinating, provocative, good feeling. And when you are not allowing your connection to the stream, you feel defensive, you feel afraid, you feel unsure, you feel unworthy, you feel anger, you feel depressed, you feel overwhelmed, you feel frustrated. There's a myriad of emotions all up and down this emotional scale. This glorious guidance system within you, letting you know in every moment how well connected to your link spot in the sky you are. It is our powerful desire that when you leave this gathering today, you never again question your value or your worthiness, and that you let your questioning be about, what do I prefer, this or this? Would I rather love this person or hate this person? Let's see which feels best to me. Esther came to an astonishing and startling revelation about herself not long ago, when she found herself on the opposite end of a decision. She thought one way and Jerry thought another way about something not very important. It was the methodology for hooking up the tow car to the monster bus. And Esther always yields to Jerry because she would much rather that he turns out to be wrong than she does. And as she was walking the length of the rig, about 67 feet, as she was walking to get back into the driver's seat of the monster bus, to pull it forward, to make sure that everything had locked in just right, she heard herself think and laughed and nearly fell over as she got into the coach as she heard her own thought. She thought, I hope it doesn't go well. And then she thought, Abraham, I'm in great trouble here because I would rather be right than have things go well. And that is the reason that so many of you do not trust your own decision. Somebody's convinced you that it's important that you make the right decision. And so you want to take a consensus. What does everybody think? Because, you wouldn't want to make the wrong decision because somehow you've decided that you must be going to be judged on how many times you were right or how many times your partner was wrong. And we want you to understand that when you decide that you're going to look for the truth so that you can line up with the truth, you're going to have a hard time of figuring it out because anything that anybody focuses on for very long, they activate in their vibration and they make it a reality which you call a factual truth. So when you see this stuff that you do not want and you say, well, I cannot ignore it because it's true, what you're saying is someone else, for whatever unknown reason, gave their attention to it long enough that it became active in their vibration, long enough that it became a dominant vibration within them, that it manifested in their experience and became a fact or evidence, and because they did that unwanted thing to themselves, I should do it too.